What's going on, everybody? Kenny, Customizer Depot here, and today I made my own pair of human races, but I put send nudes on them, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do the same exact thing. Stay tuned. First things first, I'm going to untie these laces, and I can't paint over the laces, so I got to take them off. And then I have this little lace on the bottom, basically to pull your shoe up when you're putting it on. I'm gonna take that off because that's going to be in the way of the stencil. So I'm gonna cut these off with this pair of scissors. You can use whatever you want to cut. I don't know. I mean, you can use a toe knife. I really don't care.
I'm gonna go with toe knife.
With what now?
With a toe knife. Because I use a sharp blade to dig the scum out of my toenails. Once in a while I cut myself, but it pusses up in 3 days. It's good as new.
Sure.
Toe knife.
Oh, we're gonna work on our stenciling. We have our stencils that we got from D-Nice. We're gonna put a link below so that way you can check him out. The stencils, basically we cut around the stencil and then we put it on a piece of clear tape. I just wanted to put it so I put it on a clear piece of tape so that I can see if it was straight from the edges. I just make sure that it was straight. It's the only reason why I use clear tape. And then we're gonna take out the stencils that we don't need, which are gonna be the send nude part of these stencils. And then we're gonna put them onto our sneaker the way that we want to put them on. The things that you are gonna need for this are gonna be you're gonna need some black paint because we're just using black. We're gonna be using black Angelus paint. Shout out to Angelus. You guys have great products as well as customer service. We really like these guys. Check out the link below to go and use our link to go on to Angelus. After we've laid down our stencil, what you want to do is you want to basically protect the surface that you're working with. So we want to tape everything around it just so that we don't get any extra paint on the sneakers that we're working on. As well as I really don't want to get any more paint on my table than I already do have. So let's just protect that. Now I'm using just paper towels because I want something easy to take off, easy to peel off. I don't really want to go too crazy into taping this entire shoe down because I'm only working on a particular area. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the black Angelus paint and we're gonna mix it with the Angelus Too Thin. And the reason why we're mixing it with the Too Thin is because the Too Thin acts as a diluter. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna make the fabric of the sneaker, it's gonna make it a little bit more pliable, like a lot more softer. That way the paint doesn't get so hard and like it gives it that like crusty feel onto the sneaker. And like I said, the Too Thin is gonna make it a little bit easier. It's gonna give it a lot more give than what it usually would just by putting the black paint. And also it's really good for when you're using it with an airbrush. When you're putting it in the airbrush, that the Angelus paint's a little too thick, so this thins it out and it makes it easier to go through the airbrush. We're going to take the mixture of the Angelus black paint and the Too Thin, and we're gonna put it in the airbrush, and we're gonna go in linear strokes. We're gonna go up and down in an up and down fashion. That way we get the same amount of paint in the surface area that we're working on. We don't want to spend too much time in one particular spot. That way, like it may blotch, and then when you have too much paint in one particular area, you may get like that runny look. And then what happens is that since we're working with mesh is gonna soak up all of that paint, and then it's gonna drip somewhere, and then you're gonna get bleeding. And in this particular case, you do not want bleeding, especially even if you're working on leather. If you put a certain amount into one particular area, then what's going to happen is that you're going to get streaks. You're going to get that drip, and we're not looking for that. You want to repeat the steps as many times as possible, or as many times as necessary. The process of painting and then using the heat gun to basically dry that paint. You want to be very careful especially right before you take the stencil off. You want to make sure that the paint and the surface that you just worked on is nice and dry. You don't want to take it off while it's wet, because then you run the risk of having the paint run or get onto areas where you don't want it to, i.e. run. So, you know, and that's just an easier way of not letting the paint soak up in the type of material that you're using. In this case, we're using that you know, this mesh material, and we don't want it to bleed. So we just want to be very wary of these things. We want to keep those things in mind. Let's just, you know, if you're concentrating on doing a good job, these are the steps necessary to do a good job. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching me create the Send Nudes Human Races. In the event that you guys like this video, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Also click on the bell so that way you guys can get notifications letting you know that we came out with a new video. And since we're pushing out content almost every day, definitely be on the lookout for the videos that we do post, since we're doing giveaways and giving out sneakers and whatever else that we feel like giving away. We should be doing one in a couple of weeks or in a couple of days, so definitely stay tuned for that. Go on our website, customizerdepot.net, where you can find these Send Nudes up for sale. Don't forget to also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Customizer Depot. And that's pretty much it, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. Again, thank you very much for all the love and support that you guys have been giving us. Hit us up. Thank you. Have a great day.